Hey everyone, I'm Lucy.
And I'm Oscar.
And we've been playing some of the brand new Battle Royale mode that's coming to Dying Light called, well, it's called Brutal Royale. But the whole mode itself is called Dying Light Bad Blood, not to be confused with the T-Swizzle song.
The T-Swizzle song? Would you care to demo it for us?
God, no. So this is a Battle Royale mode that's coming. So Dying Light, like as a game, it came out a few years ago now. The amount of post-release support that game has received from Techland is kind of incredible. And it still has a very, very active and rabid fan base. So like that coupled with Battle Royale being a big deal.
Wait, sorry, what's Battle Royale?
Never heard of it,
No.
right? So did you play much Dying Light when it first came out?
No, I didn't actually play it at all. It was one of those games that I really liked the look of and never ended up actually finding the time to play. So I was thankful today when we got to play a little bit of this. It's a standalone Battle Royale kind of like spin-off, right?
Yeah, so instead of, other Battle Royale games, you have 100 players and it's a battle to become, the last man standing. In Bad Blood, there are only 12 of you, but it's PvP and PvE. So you're not only fighting against other real-life human beings, you're fighting against the zombies.
The zombies, the undead.
The undead from Dying Light. So then what you do is there is a chopper coming to rescue you from this living hellscape full of zombies, but there is only one spot on that chopper, and of course the guy who is driving the chopper, you've got to give him something, so what you have to do is collect blood samples from those blood hives. We'll be seeing in a second. You have to collect the blood sample, and when you collect a blood sample, you kind of basically level up, and if you get a certain amount of blood, then you are eligible for that one spot.
You can win the golden ticket. A longer life. And when you collect the blood, correct me if I'm wrong, you get more health and you get a little bit faster.
You get a little bit stronger.
And so that, it's a pretty small bump, but it helps you on your way to becoming the number one.
And if you have low health, you get your health back as well, so it's super useful.
Yes.
So here, this is actually some of your gameplay. You went on a little bit of a killing spree, so not only are there the zombies to contend with, you have the 11 other players, and what you're doing here is brutally murdering them.
Little parry there.
Little parry, very well done. And then what you can do is you can take, obviously, their weapons, their ammo, but crucially their blood. So there are multiple ways in which you can actually level up, which means you don't necessarily have to put yourself into the thick of things. You can just hunt your mates.
Yeah, I really liked that actually, and although you need to get a certain amount of blood to be able to call in the chopper, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be the one that gets on that helicopter, right? You can just hang around the extraction zone and kill all the other players and nick their blood, and then
it's basically like Dark Zone from Division, right?
Yeah.
So I put a gameplay of this little guy in. So you obviously have regular the zombie nests themselves that you have to get the blood from. They can be easy, they can be regular, they can be hard. This is a hard guy. This is a hard nest purely because of this guy. So I've used Molotovs on him, I've used a grenade on him just there, and look how little I've chipped away at him. He's ridiculous. So part of the thing that I really liked about it is, again, talking about the multiple ways in which you can approach things, is that you can actually run distraction and lure them away, or wait until another human being, a human player, is taking the heat from him and just basically nick the blood while they're not watching.
Yeah. I really liked that kind of flexibility that it gives you. And I think the difficulty with what you were facing in that last little section there was that, you presumably at this point had a pretty basic weapon.
I was pretty fresh, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I had a couple of landmines, and I had Molotovs, and I had a grenade, and I completely wasted them all on him, which meant that I was more woefully unprepared when I actually ran into more zombies and more humans later on when I was playing.
But of course you can actually upgrade the weapons you get as well. It's not just a case of picking up new weapons. You can actually make your existing weapons stronger and give them weird perks. There's an ice upgrade for one of them. And
so that's the thing that I really loved about OG Dying Light and Dead Island, is that it was all about this great melee-based combat. You didn't really want to get guns involved because that would just obviously draw all the zombies to you, unless you were into that. I mean, no judging. But like the one thing I loved is that you could find a weapon, and you notice that in my gameplay, I'm pretty much always using this scythe because I just had a really good feel to it. It was fast.
Pretty good with the scythe, I have to say.
Pretty good with the scythe. Not so good at climbing, apparently. Like. You could take that scythe and you could keep repairing it, and you could apply mods to it and just basically make the weapons that you wanted to. Like the crafting. So I think that's a really clever thing that they're doing, is that they're taking everything that was so great about Dying Light and just like putting it into this new package.
Yeah, and I think the most, well, maybe not the most attractive thing, but something that I think will definitely help it in the fight against, you know, PUBG and Fortnite and all the rest of these Battle Royale games, is that it is going to be free to play when it eventually launches.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about that. So it's going into essentially like an early access-ish kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like early access on Steam in September.
Yeah.
And that's going to be paid.
So you have to buy a thing called the Founders Pack in order to get that. So that is Steam Early Access. And what they were saying is that once you've bought the Founders Pack, you'll get access to exclusive items that will never be available to other people later on.
That's
and
right.
you kind of get to help. I guess you're basically helping to shape and
definitely.
like
helping fund
help
and
balance
helping develop the game at that point, right? And you get regular updates, of course, and then they haven't put a time frame on the final release yet, but that is going to be free to play. It's going to come to PC first, then Xbox, and then PS4.
Yeah, I think Xbox has a little exclusivity on. Oh, so those guys I was just fighting there. So not only the zombies and real people, you can get like these helicopter drops like you had in the main game, like caches of useful items, weapons, and they were a bunch of AI dudes who were guarding those. But then I actually ran away because somebody once told me. I know, I regretted that almost as soon as I said it. Someone had enough blood in order to actually get the helicopter to spawn, so I didn't actually open the weapons cache.
Unlucky. They did say as well that they're going to be bringing more maps, more modes, more weapons, that kind of stuff after launch.
Yeah, which is cool. So like again, like what we've come to expect from Techland and Dying Light is just like tons of support.
Yeah, and I think again that will help them in the sort of Battle Royale. The Battle Royale arena. Yeah, exactly. Because I think the things that PUBG and Fortnite do so well is the sort of endless, continuous support that they get, and I think if Techland, you know, keep their promises, which I'm sure they will, I think this could really rival those two. And as well, we should mention that although I think they said that their current plan is that ranked game modes you'll have to enter as a solo player. There are going to be sort of casual and private modes as well.
So this is actually some of the B-roll the devs gave us, because it's like a guy at the end, like actually getting to be one of the final people. I actually did manage to get to the end, and I died almost immediately in a
so you did
comically bad fashion. No, but it was like me and one other guy, and he just like completely...
Is that the end? Is that really the end?
It felt like the end.
It's the end for you.
It was the end for me. But that guy did have a gun there, so there are guns, but like...
Oh, okay.
I don't know, man. If you're playing Dying Light, I don't want a gun.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you what, though, it did actually, and again, like, I didn't, as much as I liked the look of Dying Light, I didn't actually get around to playing it in the end. But, if this is free to play and I can jump on this and have a quick 10-minute match, you know, with a couple of mates in casual, 100% I'll jump on that.
So, like, the original, when Dying Light first came out, like, it genuinely was a huge surprise, and I loved it. And this, again, like, when I heard Battle Royale was coming to it, I was like, but honestly, had a whale of a time, I think you'll agree. So for more on Dying Light, Bad Blood, and Dying Light in general, Dying Light 2's coming out as well. Parkour your way.
Too much Dying Light, in my opinion. No, I'm joking.
Nah. Make sure you keep your eyes peeled to GameSpot. Ooh.
Get to the chopper. Forgot to say that earlier.
I think that's where the whole mode came from.